Okay, so I'm going to take this, I'm going to gently pull on these wires a little bit and kind of straighten them out. And yeah, see this one happened to be loose. It's still stuck in there. I might have to check that. See how I'm just straightening it out. I haven't even undone it yet. See how long these wires are now? See? Now I can probably just leave this one alone. I don't have to pull that out and mess with it. In fact, there's two black wires coming on this side, two white wires on there, a ground wire. I've got 5 wires on this. This one here happens, look at that. This happens to have just 2 black wires on it. And I'm also seeing something else. There should be a ground wire on it. And see this ground wire screw has a little copper wire on there and it's been snapped off. That tells me there's a ground wire in there that I'm going to have to fish out. There should be a ground wire. See this plug, this switch here has a ground wire on it right here. See there? It's generally just a copper, unsheathed, bare copper wire. Okay, and that's the ground. And then they got these plugged into the back. They happen to have red, and for some reason they put a black. They put black on there just to show people, an electrician later on, hey, there's power to that. It's not a white wire. I'm not using that as a white wire. I'm using that as black as power. Most electricians know that anyways, but they decided to do that. So I'm going to have to fish that ground wire out of there. And it doesn't matter on the ground wires. I could take the ground wire off on this one, leave it over here, pull this ground wire out. I don't have to relocate that ground wire in the box over to here, this ground wire over to there. I don't have to do that. This ground wire, when I take it off, I'm going to attach it to this switch because the switch is going to be over here now. This one that goes over here, I'm going to have to pull that ground wire out further, put another loop in it, and reattach it. You follow me? That's simple enough. Okay, so I've got this one pulled out for right now, and I can pull this one out now. I can just kind of jerk on it. Well, not jerk, but pull on a little bit. I'm just getting enough room so that I can get to the back of this and get these wires disconnected. Okay. See that now I can just flip this around here like that. I'm going to flip this around, just bend it like that, okay? That's your next step because I need to get in here to disconnect those wires. And the way I'm going to disconnect those wires, I'm going to leave you on here and zoom you in this time. See those 2 little holes? See that hole right there? And this hole right there. I take my little screwdriver, and I'm always using this, aren't I? My little screwdriver. And I'm going to push it in there. Okay? I'm going to push it in. Well, yeah. I'm going to relocate this because see, I don't really have enough room. Before I do that, I'm just going to think this through. I could maybe lift this up and reposition these wires back over there and do vice versa with this, but it's easier to disconnect this so I can reroute the wires, and if I need to pull a little bit extra out, I can push them back in there, have the wires poked back out. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do. You'll learn a little bit more this way anyways. Okay, so there's the back of that. Get you right like that. And I'm gonna just push this right into the switch in the back and pull like that. the wire popped out. I do the same thing there. Just, see? Just like that. I have to remember, I don't want to get these messed up. That one is gonna be relocated. This switch is going to be relocated over here. When I look at it, there's actually a top and bottom to it. In case I set it down on here and twirl it around, how do I know which way's up? It's a paddle. What's the difference? Well, the difference is it actually says top on it, right up in there. It's hard to see that. See? And I've got the ground screw on the left. Okay, so that's going to go over there. And now I've got to do the same thing to this other one, don't I? See? Look at that. It's got the little holes in the back of it. Hard to see it, but it's back there. So I'm pushing on it, and it's kind of tricky to do it by yourself, but sometimes they don't want to just pull out, so I've got to hold this, push this in, and pull it out at the same time. Okay. If you have any questions whatsoever, which I don't, I could say, okay, I'll just be on the safe side. I don't really need to, but the wrapped black wire is going to go up to the top. That's the big deal. I shouldn't have to do that, but, and I'm noticing, okay, so now I pull that back out, and now I've got just the ground. I've just got the ground screw left on there, don't I? Okay, so I can just twist it over like that, and the ground was halfway off already. Look at that, it wasn't even really on there. Boy. Okay, so now, and this one's the same way. I look at top and bottom, it's got a little top written there. I know that one's going to go over there. And here's something else that you might be like, what's up with this? Okay, and these wires over here are thinner. These wires are thinner, they're more pliable. And these are thicker. These are really thick and hard to maneuver around. So I'm glad I'm pulling this off, and I'm going to straighten these and reroute it and all that kind of stuff. Why is that? Well, this is on a 20 amp breaker. You need 12-2. This is size 12 gauge wire. You need that because they ran it on a 20 amp circuit, because that was for the garbage disposal. Okay, this was for just the lights. And on the lights, you can use a 15 amp circuit, which only then requires you 14 gauge wire. So this wire is 14 gauge. Okay, that's why it's so pliable and easier to work with. This one here, I believe it was on a 20 amp. I can't remember now, but it looks like the wire's size looks as big as this over here. That's probably on a 20 amp circuit too. I forget what it showed in the electrical panel. Okay, so at this point, that's what you got so far. Okay, you think you can do this? I think you can. Well, that's all I got for this time, but I'll be back with more videos. And what am I going to talk about next time? What am I going to show you next time? Well, you'll just have to keep watching my videos to find out.